Mezcal Carreño, hard to pronounce, easy to love.
Tuning in to the latest episode of Rise, Grind, Repeat. In today's episode, we talked to Abel from Carreño. We chat about him and his family's journey in starting their mezcal business from Oaxaca to here in the Valley. Let's dive right in. I'd love to hear more about it. How did you get into, or what is your background, and how did you get into all of this?
All right, so I am one of the owners of Mezcal Carreño US. We are the US side of a mezcal wholesale distribution family business. So our tia, our aunt, produces down in Oaxaca. Everything has to come from Mexico in order for it to be actually labeled mezcal. So it's a type of agave spirit that is high proof, meant for sipping, used a lot of time in cocktails. And we're bringing the artisanal version of it with very rare agaves that take anywhere from 10 to 25 years to reach maturity before we harvest them. That's why you'll see ours is always clear. And they're like, oh, I want to aged, a reposado or añejo. And those are great, but that's simply adding wood notes to a spirit. So if you try a whiskey when it's clear, it's not as good as when it has that aging. And
Gotcha.
But wood's a great flavor. You have mesquite smokers. You have it's something that people don't realize you use a lot in flavoring, and so that's kind of what they do with spirits. But in our world, we don't need to do wood flavoring because we have so many unique agave plants. Each one has its own story to tell because it tastes so much different than the one before it, and it's very similar. I a lot of times phrase it as wine. It's the wine of agave spirits. And you've had mezcal before because you've had tequila. Tequila is a type of mezcal, just like Chardonnay is a type of wine.
Okay, that makes sense. Because, even when I brought this up to my wife, she goes, oh, yeah, the tequila. And I was like, I don't think it's exactly the same. But, yeah. So how does it relate?
So tequila originally when it first, if you go back, I'm like a super nerd on all this stuff. You go back to when the Spanish king controlled Mexico, it was called Vino Mezcal de Tequila. And so it always had that connotation to it. When it first actually came to the US, there's little bottles with labels on there, and it's Tequila de Mezcal.
Okay.
So it always had that, but once it got popular, it just dropped it off. And so when you say tequila, you're actually ordering a specific plant from a specific place in Mexico, Guadalajara or Jalisco. Just like when you order champagne versus sparkling wine, you're ordering something that's made a certain way from a certain place. And that's what mezcal is.
So the difference is literally the plant and then the location in which the plant comes from, essentially.
And the process. There's a slight difference in process between tequila and mezcal.
That's awesome. So, it's cool that you started this as a family. How long ago did you get started, and then what was it like to get started?
So business-wise, the Carreños have been producing mezcal since 1904. They're a bunch of farmers down in Oaxaca. No one was ever buying mezcal or I should say even consuming mezcal besides people in Oaxaca. Traditionally, it was beginning of the planting season, end of the harvest, and then birthdays, quinceañeras, weddings, different things like that. That's when you drank it and you enjoyed it. It was a celebratory drink. About 10 years ago, our tia actually started getting a commercial. So, she has to get it certified. Every bottle has a sticker from CRM that allows it to be shipped out of the country. And so there's all these regulations. So she did all that groundwork and was selling it down there for the past 10 years. For us, me and my business partner, so Ivan Carreño, we're the great mix because he was born in Oaxaca and came up when he was 5 and raised in Arizona. I was born in Arizona, but my grandfather came up from Guanajuato through the Bracero program. So we're that perfect blend of, we have the roots, yet Arizona's our home. And so we have the vision of both sides of the border, and we're able to blend it seamlessly in terms of our appreciation for the spirit, but then also knowing what people on this, in Arizona, in the US, what they look like for a spirit. And when we first started this, we have no industry background on the spirits world. And hospitality, I remember the first time I got an industry discount, I was super happy. I was like, is there a card for this? Like, how do I get this other places? Because I'm we're spending all of our money, doing this business. And it was just those little things that I didn't realize we were connecting. But now I look back, and I was always meant to do this. My dad was a bartender for most of his life. Everyone knew him as Paul the bartender. And he came from Michigan, and most of it was here in Phoenix. Mm-hmm. My grandfather from Guanajuato was a chef in Michigan. He owned his own little cafe. My grandfather on my dad's side, or my mom's side, was a truck driver, but he learned to cook. And it took me a while doing this to realize all the people I was hanging out with. I go, wow, I've actually been on this path my whole life. And it is something that's been ingrained in me. I didn't see it or realize it. And then to take it full circle, my degree with ASU was global business management and leadership. Okay. And then I specialized in marketing. And here I am launching a brand that a lot of people don't know about. And we've had some of our friends that are like, I'm Mexican. I don't even know what mezcal was. And it's just, Oaxaca's, it all comes down to Oaxaca being a very poor state, very far south of Mexico. And the farther south you get from the US, the poorer it gets. That's why you see all these immigrants trying to come up. They're coming from South America and Central America, because the farther you get away from the money that is the US, it's tough life down there. And so that's why it's now barely kind of having its day in the sun, was because no one was really going there. But now you're seeing commerce. People are going there for travel, art. The gastronomy scene's really big in Oaxaca. And it's these things now, there's flights that are going direct from Houston to Oaxaca where that never happened before. And it makes such a big impact on a place that's really so poor. I think it's maybe the fourth poorest state in all of Mexico. And that's why it was never a readily known thing, because tequila blew up and it just took over everything, and everything was tequila. But now you go to Mexico City, Oaxaca City, it's the younger generation that's drinking mezcal. They're like, oh, my grandfather, he drank tequila. I don't drink tequila. I drink mezcal. And it's such a shift in terms of appreciation for it. And so for us, we've learned, to be in the industry and what it looks like, but it's still tough because it's late nights and early mornings, and we're meeting mixologists, and they're like, let me mix you something, and you got to try this new gin we just got in. And you have to have an appreciation for it. I guess if you don't have an appreciation for it, you shouldn't be doing it. And for us, we love every aspect of it, but it's really challenging because there's just so much new information, and we're still learning the logistics side, plus the marketing side, plus the relationship side, and it's all these different things, and trying to grow the brand in different ways. But for us, we got to grow it smart because we don't have the big dollars. You see Casamigos tequila. George Clooney sold his tequila for $1 billion.
That's insane.
Yeah,
that is insane.
As soon as they sold, Casamigos created a mezcal.
Really?
Yep.
That says a lot.
There's Dos Hermanos is the gentleman from Breaking Bad. They just launched a mezcal.
No way. Wow. That says a lot then. You got some money that's backing and trying to get it out there. And
exactly.
What are they doing to get it out there other than, name? That's the biggest.
So they can spend a lot of money. George actually sent out bottles to all of his friends, and now you have the coolest of cool people drinking that tequila. And so for them, that was how they grew, was product placement. And it's the same. The Dos Hermanos, when they were building it up, they were going back and forth on social media, and people actually thought they were going to do a Breaking Bad movie.
Really?
And when they said it's the mezcal, people were like, it's effing tequila. Like, there was a big backlash, because they were using, but again, they're smart. They were using their clout to build up that for something that they love. And, they talk about it. You can tell they appreciate the spirit, and they've gone down there, and they have someone making it for them, and they put their label on there. But for us, that's what we learned. It was very different. We're like, okay, we're going to support the family. We're going to bring it to the US because we know it needs to be up here. What does that look like? Well, we figured it out. We reverse engineered, where those guys like, all right, we have money. We're going to buy a brand. We're going to bring it up. We're going to have really good looking shot girls go out and go do stuff. I remember I met a bar manager once. He goes, yeah, we have Justin Timberlake tequila. They're going to bring it in, and the big distributors come in, and they're going to spend X amount of dollars here, and they have shot girls. And I'm like, wow, well, I can't spend any money here. I have friends I can invite. I'm not Justin Timberlake, and I am the shot girl. I was like, will that work? And he looked at me, and I came back, and they ended up picking up actually all 4 of our varietals. But again, our spectrum's just so different, trying to compete. And now realizing like marketing is such an important part, because we have to tell a story more and more often. And so I mentioned to you earlier, we're educators, but really we're storytellers, because when we first started doing this, we didn't have any money. We were having Mezcal Mondays, and we just had some bottles that we had flown back with from family trips. And we had some different chefs and stuff come in our backyard, and we were just teaching and drinking. It was our way of educating ourselves on how to present it. And at the same time, we were networking, and it was kind of one of those beautiful things. I was like, Mezcal Monday sounds good. Let's just do it on Mondays. It's people aren't gonna be doing stuff, but us not knowing the industry, that's when they were all off. So they could all come on a Monday. Yeah. And it was just happenstance. Everything that we've done has just been falling the right way for us to do it. But we have to do things much more organically. People are like, oh, give me this cool cup. It's cool. Can I have it? I'm like, no. I'm like, we're selling them if you want to buy them. Like we're at the very infancy, but they're used to brands don't launch in Arizona. They're going to go to California, Chicago, New York, Texas. And when they come here, now they have money and they're able to spend, where we're like, nope, this is our home. So you have to understand we're getting so much great community support with people going, I'm going to take some of those hats. I'm going to give them away to some of our guests. And it's just beautiful to see so many people, they look at us as family, we're a spirit that's made somewhere else, but our roots are here. So we're looked upon as a local spirit.
Part of the community.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I think, our biggest selling point right now.
That is cool. Yeah. I mean, it sounds like just stories. There's a lot there. I mean, you even mentioned the agave plant. I mean, there are stories that come from each individual one. And so it's like, do you use, I guess, different plants for this, or is there just one type of plant? And I guess where I'm going at that is, are you guys doing anything to tell the stories of these plants? Like that right there, the origin of where this comes from, like everyone, the why, the origin, everyone loves the origin stories. And so is there anything to play off of there? Yeah,
there's a lot. So when you say mezcal, it's just like saying wine. So you don't go to a bar and you don't go, give me wine.
Okay.
You know a certain type of wine, and people ask me like, what's my favorite? Yeah, exactly.
And is that what this? Okay.
Yep. So each of these is a name right here. So we have we call it our valley to valley flight map of Mezcal Carreño, and all of our agaves come from the central valleys of Oaxaca to the Valley of the Sun first. It's our connection. Our goal is to build a bridge from Oaxaca to Arizona. That's what we're trying to do. And then we have to educate. And it's tough to say. Carreño is not an easy word to say. So that right there, it's one, people see it and they'll order Carino and all these different things, but they got to learn. But then you dive into the species of agave and Tobola, Tobasiche, Tepestate, Ensamble Siete. Very different to say. And then even then amongst the mezcal world, you have about 40 different species. So Quiche, Madre Quiche, Araqueño. These are all different, very indigenous words in terms of the agaves, but each one is a very different agave, taking anywhere from 10, 15, 20 to 25, 12 to 14 years to grow.
And what is the variance between each of the plants? Does it change the taste, the alcohol content, what does, there's 40 different species, what does each one do or represent, I guess?
It'll be different taste, just like the wines. You can have similar wines in France and then in Northern California. Mm-hmm. It's going to take, those wines will taste different because you have the soil, you have the weather conditions. And some of these plants are like for instance, our Tobola, it's about the size of a basketball. You're used to seeing those tequila plants, really massive, really sharp sword-like leaves that are called pencas. Very different on the Tobola. It's small, rosette-shaped. You have our Tobasiche that actually grows up and out of the earth, and it looks like a yucca plant or a Joshua tree. Way different than most of the agaves. And so that's the one I have here. You can smell it. You'll smell the difference in it. Does it not smell like your normal tequila? Because it's such a different species. And that's what I have people, they're so used to the industrial stuff and I've tried mezcal before, it's so smoky, I don't like it. And that would be like saying you don't like beer because you tried Natty Ice once.
Touche.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And that's our role, is to try to have people experience it. But once they hear the story, because again, there's mezcal that had a worm in it originally, and that was like the worst one. It's yellow gold colored, so it's like almost like Cuervo. And that was what people had for the first time, where guys would chug it trying to drink the worm when they were in college. And so that was their experience. And it's like, no, we're so beyond that. That guy was smart because he put it as a gimmick and it crushed, and that's the number one seller. But people are finally realizing, there's so much better, but I have to fight that first impression.
How are you fighting it?
Educating them. I've had it where I've gone to some gals, and we're doing a tasting I was just at Bevy Uptown, and they were sitting there like, hey, I'm doing, mezcal tasting, one of the owners. Like, oh no, I don't like it. It's that smoky tequila. Like, oh no. And I gave her a little bit of information, like, this is a plant. She's like, I'll try it. And then she tried them. And right away, she's like, where can I buy a bottle? And it was, again, when I first started talking to him, I thought this lady's definitely not going to come over and try it, because she was like, as soon as I said mezcal, she's
just
like,
nose in the air.
Yeah, she's like, oh, no, thank you. And then I talked and I taught, and she was like, wow, I didn't know, and now I want to find out what the truth is myself. And she tried it. And so that's what we have to do, is get people to break down those barriers of misconception, and understand it's so different. So I try to make people pronounce the names of the agave species that are tasting. Like, all right, which is your favorite? Because you see we have notes on here: floral, almond, chive, papaya. Well, someone's like, let me get that papaya one. I go, the tobasiche? They're like, yeah, that one. I go, I want to hear you say it. And they're like, tobasiche. At least they try, because when you go to the bar, Dustin, I want you to be able to say, hey, do you have tobasiche mezcal? The bartender's going to turn around and be like, yes, I do. Like, they're going to, when you know your stuff, the bartenders are going to love it, because it's definitely the industry drink right now.
Yeah. And that could literally be a hat. Like, you could use that as a hack. You want to be the first one served all the time, like, wow, the bartender. And this is what, like, everything you're going over there is so much opportunity in just telling all these stories. Like, it is literally an education piece in educating the world. And I guess, how are you guys doing that outside of you going to play? And are you guys trying to go direct to consumer, or is it getting into bars and distributing to?
So that's where it gets sticky. You have a ton of great information. I always try to correlate how I could use it. I can't sell to you, Dustin. Our distributor, we have a 3-tier system. So it has to go from me to a licensed premise, either independent liquor store, or a hotel, restaurant, bar. They then sell it to the consumer. So that's why it's this balance. When I go into a bar, so I'm trying to sell it to you, because you're going to consume it. So when I go into a bar or restaurant, the most important person at first is that owner or that bar manager. I got to get them to actually put the product on the shelf, because if they don't, it doesn't matter how much I make you want it, you can't get it. Once they say, yeah, this is great, we're going to carry it. Okay, cool. Now it's on the shelf. Now it switches to the bartender, the servers. Now they're my most important person, because if they don't hear the story, or they're that person that goes, oh, I've tried mezcal, I'm not going to tell. I don't want someone to try it and send it back, and I'm not going to get a good tip, so now I have to educate them. Finally, once I'm finished with them, now I got to go to you, the consumer. How do I make you want to try it? How do I make you go, do you have Carreño back there? Do you have mezcal? And so it's a 3-tier system for me, trying to get people interested in it. Getting it into the bars is the most important spot, because a bartender, we have so many great bartenders here in this state. They can make someone interested. They can go, what's that bottle right there? It looks, the one with the studs on it. Oh, let me tell you. And if they know what they're doing, they can sell it, and someone's going to try it, and they're going to be like, that's really good. Where can I find it? I don't know. Go look at their website, and from there, go buy their home bottle. Or now they fall in love with it, and now they go again. They're asking for that same type of tobasiche at each bar that they go to. And so that's why it's difficult, because I can get there's not a click here and buy. That's my problem. And we're in about 13 independent locations that sell bottles to go in the Valley. We're going to finally be in Total Wine here on Friday. Nice. So we got 2 other locations in different spots of the town that we're not in, Northwest Valley and like Ahwatukee. And so it's exciting to be able to say, all right, we're in some of these bigger places where you can go online and buy. At least it's going to be sitting there for you. Where in California, you can get stuff shipped to you. Like, you can get liquor delivered to your door. So there's different rules that we have to work with. And, starting it here in Arizona is more difficult, but it's worth it for us, because we can set the bar really high for what people know mezcal is. And then that's going to be what they judge any future experience with.
And is there, outside of the hometown and anything like that, is there anything, because it is similar to tequila, or people have that connotation, is there there's probably more people that like tequila here in the Southwest or down here in Phoenix that kind of led to it? Or was it just simply like, this is my hometown? And
number one consumer of mezcal, New York City.
Really?
Globally. Like, Mexico City is catching up, but New York is the number one consumer.
And is it any particular demographic within New York?
So the reason, there's a really big brand called Del Maguey that came up. He was an artist, Ron Cooper, that went down to Oaxaca for art, fell in love with the mezcal. As soon as it got its denomination of origin, meaning it was recognized internationally, he brought it to New York. Chefs, mixologists, they never tried something like this. Like, this is fantastic. So that was kind of its start in the US. And New York is always quick to go to something that's unique and different and edgy. And so it grew from there. And then obviously people travel to New York, they take it back with them. And so our target market would be young professional to older professional that likes to go out to eat, enjoys a fine dining experience, because our mezcal is not cheap. We produce it the artisanal way. We use rare agaves that are wild. And that's the big thing that people are used to is industrial spirits. A bottle of Jack's $30. Yeah. You order at a bar, it's $9. Like, oh, it's not that bad. Well, if you get a $100 bottle, now that $100 bottle is going to cost you $30 for a pour. And people are like, well, it's the same math, but because your base was higher, it's such a different experience at the bars. And that's what someone doesn't want to risk. I'm not going to risk $30 or $25 on a pour of something that I don't know what it is.
It's someone that actually enjoys the taste, it enjoys the spirit, not there to just pound a shot to get hammered.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's meant to be sipped. That's what we always say. You sip it, you don't shoot it. Just like your wine, you're not, I mean, some people chug wine. I don't know. But again, I correlate it to wine a lot. You're having a good meal. You're going to sit there with your little cup and sip it through your meal versus I'm just going to slam this and get rid of it. You're going to truly enjoy it because again, this plant here took 14 years to get to that point where we could actually make it into mezcal. Why are you going to just slam it? And it's that appreciation that makes people want to pay the extra money for. And we did a video with one of my friends. She has a master's in nutrition and she calls beer weaponized carbs. And I was like, wow, I never thought about it that way. And she had mentioned something to me about meal plans. Like, oh, people, they can't drink anymore. She goes, no, I tell them they can. They have to drink, vodka straight. And I'm like, oh, that sounds horrible. I told her about mezcal. She goes, oh, this is exactly what I would tell them to drink. And just hearing stuff like that, okay, it has different opportunities for people to appreciate it. It's just our world has been so industrialized on a lot of different things, but you see that in our food culture now. We want to know where our chickens come from, where the farmers markets are coming out with their vegetables, all these unique things. Chula seafood, you want to know where the seafood's coming from, and people are willing to pay a little bit more because it has that story behind, but it also has that quality behind it. And it's those two things that combine that allow it to happen. And so for us, we've done videos. We've had some different interns. I've gotten okay at doing video editing, but it takes to do what you guys do. It takes a lot of time, especially to do it right.
I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, even so, like the whole video aspect. Like we've been doing this for a year, and my whole background is the Facebook ads, Google ads, analytics, nothing content production, and that was the biggest thing. Is like, oh, I thought it was going to take 2 hours, and it takes 10, and you don't see or you don't appreciate all the time it takes for the end product and how much just down to the little milliseconds of cutting and editing, and it's something that I've had to learn and even price accordingly and all that stuff. But yeah, it does take time, but when you do it right and you can tell the story correctly, know the audience who you're telling the story to, and just hit on that emotion, it leads to the wanting to learn more, and then it's just how you kind of follow that communication. How have you guys gotten it out? I mean, if you got what types of videos or what have you guys kind of?
So when we went back to the hacienda. So our hacienda is in San Dionisio, Ocatlan, which is like an hour south of Oaxaca City. So if you're not familiar with where Oaxaca is, it's very far southwest corner of Mexico. So Mexico's huge. People go, I haven't heard of this. Well, it's because like if you live here, you would never have Texas barbecue if you didn't go over there. There's some distance between Mexico City, Oaxaca City, and so right down there is where it's all from. We went down to the hacienda and we filmed. I woke up. It's a long trip. We had to go from here to Texas to Mexico City. Then we drove down. So got in super late. I was just excited because I knew storytelling was very important. So we bought little gimbals and we self-filmed on the phone. I'm up at 5 a.m, filming the hacienda, showing some of the different agaves to tell that story of the family side. Because to me, that was the most important thing. It was like, all right, it's a family brand. Carreño, it's the name. Like Carreño is the name of it. There's some brands out there that mean magicians and lovers, and it's sexy, it's cool. But for us, the family was cool. Like this is what people can get behind. And so we filmed some of that, and we had some interns chop it up and make a unique video. I had one. Our next time we went to Puebla and visited some friends. The distilleries are called Palenques, and we visited his. And I made one myself, and it just kind of showed more of the fun side of the food and doing different things. And then the last one, it was really cool. We were doing a tasting at a coffee bar, and one of the baristas did videos, and he ran out after us going, hey, I heard your story. I want to help. That's cool. Like what kind of, our Mezcal Mondays that we were doing, we're now doing them. Now that we were legit, had our bottles in, we were ready to go. We've been doing them at different businesses. And we keep doing that Mezcal Monday because it gives us opportunity to talk to people slower. So the bars and restaurants like, oh great, I can get people coming in on a slow day. And I wanted to show that of the presentation of the mezcal, the cups, we have something called sal de gusano, which is worm salt, and you sprinkle it on an orange, and you don't, it's different than your tequila. You're not biting it to cover up the flavor. Yeah. It's got chile de árbol and chile de agua. There's some spices in there. And so you nibble it as you're sipping your mezcal. And so we wanted to show those different aspects in terms of the art and what the presentation was, but then give the history behind, the bottle and the family. And the bottle design is based off of Zapotec's King's Cup. In the middle of Oaxaca City, there's a beautiful temple. Inside, there's over 170 kings buried there. And inside one of the chambers of one of the kings, he had this studded cup. So that's why it looks unique, but at the same time, it connects back to a story. And so we were able to do that. And I just posted it to IGTV because I've had it, and we had like a small 50-second version to fit on there, and I put it on the feed. But when I posted it to the story, it just blew up. I had to wait, and I don't think we've grown because we're still super small in terms of our reach. We have like maybe 1,500, maybe 1,600 followers. But when I put it to IGTV, it was just getting tons of comments. I'm like, I bet you guys had seen it before. And I can't remember if it was you or someone else that said it's like a commercial. You got to watch it. They play commercials so much because it's like the 7th time is when someone gets it. Yep. And I go, God, that makes sense. I got to post these. So I have the Hacienda video. I'm getting ready to post that on IGTV to see what now happens. I've shared it on Facebook, and I've put different clips on the stories, and maybe when I put on IGTV, but again, their algorithm is based. It's knowing what they're looking for, and they want IGTV to be something. So when I put something there, it pops, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're pushing it so hard, and I feel like I don't keep up on the numbers for our page, but I know that just as we've been doing IGTV more, it's getting a lot more comments, a lot more views than just posting on Instagram and stuff like that. And that's awesome that yeah, you're saying what the platform wants and pushing it. I think there is so much opportunity in getting these stories out, and even outside of the videos, even starting like a podcast, and like to your point, bridging the gap from here to Oaxaca. If you could create something where you could even get like a Zoom call with the people down there that basically the whole from farm to bottle, and talk about, get different people that work in different parts of the process, and just talk about the story. You can even do it over a glass of that, but that's the education piece that you can cut a lot of that up to get out there. But even then, it's once you're here, creating, are you still doing those at different places?
Yeah, I did one last night. So
how are you pushing those?
Our strategy is Arizona connection to Oaxaca. So last night I was at a Pure Cigar Bar in Chandler, and there's a beautiful Agave, the Spirit of a Nation film. So they have a members only room that has all these TVs, and it tells you you see more of the family side of a tequila brand and 2 mezcal brands. And I would love to be able to do a movie on us, but we're a boutique producer, so we're not producing all the time. Yeah. We've had so many friends and industry friends that are, hey, we're going to Oaxaca. I was like, can we go to Hacienda? Like, yeah, no one's going to be there because we're not a big producer. We'd like to get that point someday where we have a constant production going on, so you can get that mezcal experience. Our vision is to make the Hacienda like a boutique hotel where you can come down, and we have, different mixologists from wherever we're at that come down and stay for a week, and they have people show up and they make them drinks, and they get to go explore Oaxaca, and they just stay at the Hacienda for free. Like, unique stuff like that would be what we'd want to tell and showcase.
How are you getting the people there every Monday? Because it seems like the power in all this is, like you said, it's you can't sell to me, but if you can get me to want it, I can go to the bar that I go to all the time and say, hey, do you have this? And that's what's going to get the sales and get this sold. You know what I mean? And so I think you're onto something huge where it's, do these at different bars, because now you have both the people that are going in and the bar there, and now you can educate both at the same time. They can see, oh wow, I really love this, and then all of a sudden gets the wheel turning, like, yeah, I do need to offer this, and so like, I would love to hear what you're doing to get people there, because I think that's where
exactly it. We love to do them because we get a chance to talk to the bartenders, the servers, and they're like, oh, you guys are local. Oh, you're the owners. Oh, why am I selling a bottle of 1942 that's going to go to some big brand that who knows what they're doing with the money? You guys are doing stuff here. Like, we're partnering with Des Botanical. So my big thing is partnering. How can I help them help me? Mm-hmm. And when we go together, it's I think there's the saying, you can go alone, you go faster, you go together, you go farther. And
I like that a lot.
For me, it's, I'm probably a really good organizer, but I send them, hey, this is some information. Can you make me a flyer, and I'll post it on my social media, and I make sure I tag them on there. I create the event really quick on Facebook, and I say, hey, you're not co-sponsored with it, or co-host. 10 minutes later, like, hey, you're still not co-host. Oh, sorry. I'm on them because I know once it goes on theirs, their people are going to see it that are on their social media channels. And then I strategically have different things pop throughout the week because we have dinner. So first off, the movie, I worked with Puro, and they were reposting stuff, resharing it, and they were doing my content, and they were doing some of their content, and we were sharing that throughout. And then they had stuff set up on premise that people saw come back on this day, and then they were telling them. We do dinner pairings, which is, I love to eat. That chef side of me, I've always loved to cook. It's been one of my passions, and now I get to like meet these amazing chefs one-on-one, try the mezcal. So we do a lot of mezcal dinner pairings now. We have, we did one at Talavera at the Four Seasons. We just did one at Peoria Artisan Brewery last month. Coming up this Sunday, we have one at Tuck Shop. We're going to do one with the Phoenician at Morian Cotton. We have so many amazing chefs that want to work with us because they've never experienced a spirit like this. And they've done a lot of wine dinners, and some of them have done beer pairing dinners. Very rare have they done spirit ones. And being able to do a cocktail or maybe a neat pour of this with a tamale or with some ceviche or with a smoked salmon, whatever it is that they correlate to that. That's, again, we have to partner with them, and I want you to create it with your palette, and then we do our things with social media, tagging it, making sure we have a flyer for it, putting it on the feed, putting it on the story, tagging certain hashtags with, is it in Chandler? Is it downtown Phoenix? Is it uptown? Because those do make a difference in terms of other people being able to see it, making sure the location's tagged, because again, that location-based marketing comes into play. Yeah. And so that's another aspect of it. But it takes them to want to help, because there's been some places where I'm like, here's the media kit. I have a cool video, the Instagram video. Now that you're carrying our mezcal, all you got to do is download it, put it up, and they don't do it. I'm just like, I made the work so easy for you. Yeah. Like, you just had to put a cool video that we had made, and you need content. Like, that is the one thing I take pictures and photos of everywhere. I'm telling Arthea, like, hey, send me something of the Palenque. Send me when the boxes show up. Send me when the new bottles are. Like, I'm constantly trying to find some stuff down there and then stuff up here with the dinner pairings, because content is king. The more unique content you can put out there, the better it is. And for them, I'm like, I give you a really cool piece of content that highlights something new, unique, and you just got to put it up. And they don't do it. And it's just, that's the struggle. But then there's some people that are awesome, that newsletter goes out and we're already on the newsletter. Yeah. And I've gotten messages like, hey, I didn't know you were going here. I was like, oh yeah, she's on it. Like, that bar manager is on it. And so it's trying to give them the information. But again, everyone's so busy in this world. Their hours are so different. I'm up early and I'm sleeping late. I say I beat the sun, and then I outlast the sun is the way that I have to work. And I send messages a lot of time in the morning, and they're not up. And when they get up, they got a bunch of stuff they're doing before. And so for me, it's that management piece. Like, how do I manage people and make, like I tell Ivan all the time, we're the most important thing to ourselves. They're doing so much stuff. Just like we get a lot of requests for different things. Hey, can you donate here? And we have this event. Can you go to here? And I tell them that's the same thing with us when we try to present ourselves and you have to have that perspective. How can I prove? And it's going in with like, I want to help you sell. I want to help you have something unique. I want, literally, our mezcal's only available in Arizona. What on your back bar can you say is only available in Arizona? What guest can walk in, whether they're a local or someone from somewhere else? You'll try this, that they're going to have a story. They're going to have, it's Instagrammable. They're going to talk about it. Yeah. And that's what I try to showcase.
Do you guys spend any money on paid media, like Facebook ads?
Zero.
None?
Zero. Everything is organic.
Is that just because of budget, or you just don't?
Yeah.
You just want to keep everything?
Well, no, because of budget right now. My 401k is this bottle right here. Like, literally, it tastes so good because that was my 401k. All of our money. Ivan's got a loan in his house. Like, we had to spend a lot to get this ramped up because there's just so much expense in there. And now we're doing better. We're getting a lot of accounts. We're in over 119 places since February 21st, which is crazy. When I didn't, I gave myself a goal of 200 by the end of the year, and people are like, that's for you guys doing it by yourself. You're doing way better than what most people are. So but I never had what it looked like. I just said, well, this, if I hustle really hard,
next thing I need to do.
Yeah. If I hustle really hard, 3 accounts each month or each week times this. This is a goal. It's a lofty goal, but that's what goals should be.
Yeah.
And right now the money's coming in and we're doing different stuff, getting more cups made. These right here, these are our great little educators, but I burn through them all the time. They're like, let me see these. Let me get, and so
do you keep these at where you drop these off at?
Yeah, so I get some of them branded when they have all four. I just finally got new ones made, and she had to finalize the size. But some places don't have all four; they only have two, and I didn't want them having the other ones on there. And so I had different versions of it. If you only carry the Tobasiche and then Ensemble Siete, you now have that version that you can have it as a staff trainer, but then also have it to put down at the guest because someone wants mezcal. Oh, here, just check this out. And then they can read and they can interest themselves. And now the server or the bartender can go check on the other table or make that other cocktail really quick and come back. What'd you think? Oh, this Tobasiche or this blend of 7 wild agave is like, I want to try that. And I didn't even know that existed. Mm-hmm. And so for us, it's a double whammy because it gets people interested and it teaches either the staff or the consumer at the same time. And so we have to give those out all the time. We do a lot of tasting events where this is our marketing right now. We've gone through almost 180 bottles of just tasting. And
like you said, they're not cheap to make.
Yeah, you go out to a liquor store that's going to range anywhere from like $106 to $120 a bottle.
Wow. I don't think I've ever tasted anything that expensive, to be honest.
Yeah, really. Well, you should. If you let me know whenever you're ready to try it. That's how we have to have people experience it, because again, I can have George Clooney show the bottle, but is that really going to make someone want to try it? Maybe there's some. We can have a beautiful girl offer the shot. Is that going to make? Yeah, there's some. We can tell the story, and I think more people can resonate with the story. Absolutely. And so for us, we've had people like, oh, give me a bottle. I'm a influencer and I can help push it. And I'm like, well, I've done the numbers. I can go, with a bottle, I can sample 45 people, and I'm passionate about what I do and I care. And I'm very educated in terms of I can read the person and if you're interested in something that I can dive into it, I can make of those 45 people, I can make 6 to 10 of them go buy a bottle or order it somewhere or teach their friends. Where you as an influencer, you're going to talk about it, but you're not going to explain it the right way, or you're not going to have that passion for it. Like, oh, it was really cool. Oh yeah, I got this. You're going to sip it a couple of times and then it's just going to sit there. Mm-hmm. Like if you were someone that truly loved it, I can get like, then it's like, okay, I see that. But for the most part, people just, I knew we made it when we started getting those influencer messages like, yo, let's collab. Here's my email, because my Instagram's being controlled by a bot someone, and I don't want the numbers to be on the Instagram message. I need it to be on my email. And for me, it's just the marketing budget will come there someday. I just got an intern now. Jennifer, who's going to help us. She's going to ASU for a digital marketing degree, and I'm going to have her more focus on competitive analysis, looking at, we have kind of who our similar brands are on the product level, but then also I really do think it's a lifestyle brand, because we are working with these great chefs. You enjoy this when you're out celebrating something, or you're having a good meal, or a bunch of friends are celebrating someone's accomplishment. That to me is what Carreño is. It's something that you really enjoy, or you just enjoy the finer things. If you're someone that likes to go out and get those new pair of shoes when they come out, like, that's the person that wants to enjoy quality mezcal, or someone that's smart enough to realize I've had the bad hangover because I was drinking the bad stuff. Maybe if I buy better stuff, I'll feel better. And it really is like, I've done the R&D, Dustin, half a bottle, no hangover.
Really?
Because it's distilled to proof. Yeah. Did it for you guys. But that's the way I look at it, is we're a brand that is just classy, and it's something like you mentioned earlier, we're not going to take a shot of it. Mm-hmm. You're going to enjoy it. And when you have that time to enjoy it, you're usually doing it with your friends. We call compas. Like, that's a lot of our stuff is like, hey compas, which means like your friends. And that's how we enjoy it, is with our compas.
Love it. What are you guys doing in the next couple months to try and just educate more? Or what's your guys' next 3 to 6 month plan in terms of reaching more people, getting out there and trying to get the word out there?
So we collab a lot with many different people. So we have the chef's dinner pairings. We have just the regular tasting nights where it's education. We have painting nights coming up, and we're painting. There's a traditional cup called a jicara. It's a gourd, and we're going to have people paint those while they're learning about mezcal. So now it's a sip and paint night. There's alebrijes, which are the wooden figurines. Again, the stuff that is part of the Mexican culture that we can share and have people do it to be more connected to that side of it. And so we have those coming up. We are partnering with a fashion designer, Cumulative. He does these really cool Arizona pocket tees. And I went to the Desert Botanical Garden, and I'm a native, and I was feeling it that day because we had to wait for the botanist to get off. He got us in, and we, my friend Aaron and I, he took a bunch of photos. He's a photographer, and we're going to have these really unique shirts that for every shirt we sell, we're going to plant an urban agave in Phoenix, in Tucson, and then one in Oaxaca. And it's going to be the Arizona outline, but it's going to be an agave from the botanical garden. So those are getting ready to we'll probably launch different versions of those in September. And then we are doing there's one other thing that's slipping my mind. Oh, at the Desert Botanical, we actually have some of our agave species coming up because they have some Blue Weber, which is your tequila plant there. They just look sickly. But our vision is to have a fundraiser over the next couple of years to create a mezcal section where now you're going to go there and, I'm drinking Tobasiche, and there's the plant. So you can see it. So you can see those differences because we have them, listed out there and on that photo, so you kind of see it, but when you see it in real life, you realize, oh man, this thing is huge and tall, and that one's so small. That's why they taste so different. It's because the root structure is different here, and this one's filling more of the elements. And so a lot of our stuff is how can we connect to Arizona, because that's our goal. We're going to be Arizona's brand, and after that, we'll see where the wind takes us in terms of, but I'm not trying to take over the whole country. I want to take over my state. First, we took over our town, then we went over the state, and then maybe a corner of this place because it's so big. California's a huge mezcal consumer. And so that probably would be our next step because it's close and we already have accounts that are here that are like, hey, when are you going to get it in California? But we haven't had a season yet. We're busy right now and it's summer. What does that look like? I don't want to not have the ability to go deliver or the ability to have the product. So I want to make sure we're fully ready for this season to hit, that we just give exceptional service from start to finish so people can tell that story and it's just easy for them to rattle off. This is a great brand, great people, great product, great story. Here's why.
Love it. Do you, so it sounds like you're working a lot with the where you guys are doing these events at. Are you guys the one coming up with what the event looks like, or is that on them?
It just depends. We did the Talavera dinner at the Four Seasons. Someday when I have a staff like that, it will be fantastic because they had their assistant food and beverage manager was training the staff on each of the types of our expressions of mezcal, a refresher because they already knew about it, but refreshing them for it. They had the other girl who was already doing all the decorations and setup. They had another girl who's doing social media. I'm a social media person. I'm the accountant. I'm trying to I'm trying to do the social media, but then all of a sudden people coming in, I'm trying to do this. I'm like, okay, compa, like I'm going to film you do this. And all of a sudden more people come in, like, okay, can't. And I'm looking, I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't post that video. I get it. Where then the chef, she was able to, Chef Sammy, she was able to go and get everything prepped so she could come out, and now she had stations set up with her sous chefs that were just able to, and she could mix and mingle. And I was like, man, but then I'm trying to talk to the guest, then someone new's coming in. And so it's constant back and forth. And that would be a great thing when we finally have a structure where I can have my digital marketing person, I can plan the event. And we have a food festival we're going to do, in April is our plan for it. And so that's going to connect to the food of Oaxaca, the art of Oaxaca. Cool. And then when I say mezcal, that means I'm talking about the big umbrella mezcal. So underneath mezcal is tequila, bacanora, sotol, raicilla. So these are all different parts of Mexico, different species. And I want people to experience it all. And so it's not your tequila fest. No. There's so much more. Tequila's part of it because tequila is a mezcal. And so that's my 2020 big project that we're working on that will be a good way to have people experience it and then appreciate it.
Yeah.
And so there's all those, but again, it's all about experience in the end, just different ways, whether it's just the education, whether it's a dining experience. Oh my God, I had that amazing tuna and it went really well with the tepestate I had. And then, or we're painting, and now Dustin has a little cup he puts in his office that's his mezcal cup. Oh, what's that? What? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Or the movie where you sentimentally you get connected, you see the family. So it's all those different parts because every person's different. So I got to market to every person a different way. But because I'm a blend. I can see so many different people that would appreciate this. And so that's why we're doing so many different things, because I have that perspective, like, oh, this is a great way for someone that would, maybe not really look at mezcal, but they like art. And now all of a sudden they like mezcal. And all the guys at the cigar bar, it was packed. It was fully packed. They had guys and gals in there, and they loved the film, and they would have maybe never thought about mezcal that way, but they saw that film, and now they're going to start ordering it more. Yeah. And so it's just all these different things. But then it goes back to you. It's like social media is king. Our Instagram killed it for us because we got really connected to a lot of people. I'd put up a picture with some of the chefs and mixologists were there. All of a sudden people were tagging it, and it got way more excitement. I could tell when I put up it was funny. We had a lot of like the game-changing, amazing chefs in our backyard drinking mezcal, I'd make Chipotle almond dip.
That's cool.
And to look back on it, I go, man, we were just very fortunate that we had some of the best people come out right away, and they're like, oh, you got to talk to this person, and it just kind of spiraled. But the Instagram definitely was what connected us really quickly, because someone would look at it, oh, this person, I worked with them at Binkley's before, and it was a connection now making them closer to our brand.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. And I mean, have you ever thought about even just not even just saying, going to basically places that you want to try and sell to and just say, hey, can we come and just do an education piece? All I want to do is bring foot traffic, but you could do something that's like a 20-week series, and each week is a different plant that's all you focus on, how it's made and all that. And so over the course of 20 weeks, you're telling a story. You can piece all that together, but then you create I want to learn about this next one and this next one. Now you create a sense of you're building a story that people are going to want to be part of, and then they can come. And now you have all this content, because how I'd see it is basically you could just record, be lapelled up as you're doing these. So now it's like over the course of 20 weeks, you're interacting, getting seen, connecting with bars, but now you're building up all this informational content. And then that's when you could really start pushing it, when you have that marketing budget. But I don't know if this would be something that could create some buzz or whatever it may be, but with as hard as it is to pronounce these, if you could do some type of campaign around that, like get a free what is that called? Copita?
Yeah.
Get a free one of those if you take a video trying to order one of these at the bar and tag the bar. And now it's like, now you got people that are trying to do it. They feel more comfortable, I guess, saying it, but now you guys are getting tagged, the bar is getting tagged and all that, and it's just creating a fun way. It's kind of taking the element of, I don't want to order because I don't want to look stupid at the bar, and so it'd be kind of playing into that, and then it gets people used to ordering this type of stuff and rolling off the tongue, and now people just get more fluent in it, and over the course of doing this, you're educating people on how to even talk about it. And so you could create something that's specific at that bar, and then create these little just campaigns that do a 1 mile, 2 mile radius. So it's super cheap to even reach people around there, but just say, hey, come up with a branded video. We're an Arizona company. This is who we are. Arizona's our hometown. People that watch that, show them all the different menu items, and then literally come out with something, bet you can't order this at the bar, something like that. And then it just gets people like, oh yeah, I bet I can. And it just creates that. But again, there's the paid media aspect to it. But I think there's a lot in here in getting 10 to 15 weeks planned out, and then having each thing be a different learning session to get people to want, I guess, to learn more and be part of that. But then you can, you're already doing this, going to other things. Maybe just half of them are strategic in terms of, hey, we're not going to give you the ability to do whatever you want, pair it with this. The value that we're bringing is we're going to bring this in and we're going to drive foot traffic. We get to own the night, basically what we get to talk about. And so you can turn it into a whole little podcast session, and people would love to be a part of that. So you could even, promote it as like, hey, this is our podcast getting us up and going to be, the future of Arizona and stuff like that, and people would love to be part of it. Now you're just creating a way to get people out there, and then they're going to ask questions because they know it's on a podcast. They want to be on it and stuff like that. But now that's how you're organically capturing the informational piece without having to try and, all right, we're doing all this, we're already busy, how can we set up another, another time to try and document this education piece? But literally just do what you're already doing, but every other one, just you own it. And then you could get so much content like that. And just from I'm sure people are starting to search for this more. And so, just from a YouTube standpoint, you could target people with these types of the informational stuff that, like, what what is this, or what are the best meals to eat with this? Like, as you guys are coming up with that content, these questions are coming out, you can clip them up. And as people type that into Google, like, what is the best food to eat with this? You could literally just serve an ad and be like, hey, da-da-da, like, you could eat it with this, or this, and you can actually get it here. And so now you're playing off of what are people searching for. You have that micro piece of content that answers it when they watch it. And then you just say, hey, you can get it here. And then it just, now you taken someone that has curiosity and now played into it and showed them exactly where they can get it. And just without saying, hey, buy from us, they're going to come in and want to get it just to try it. I mean, whether just to try it because it's something new, whether to help you guys out because you guys are an Arizona native company, a family-owned company. I mean, there's so many different things that you guys are that you could play off of from a marketing standpoint that would do far better than having JT or George Clooney as this, because those are all vanity things, and it's just, I don't know. I guess people think it looks cool, but I think it looks way cooler to say that you built something that is close to home and close to your heart, and that's your family, your hometown, and stuff like that. And playing off of that, telling people, hey, this is who we are. And then as they spark the interest, educate them on everything, and then show them where they can get it. And it's kind of, yeah, I think you're already doing you're killing it. You're making all the right moves. I think, if you can document some of that events that you're already at, I think you can repurpose some of that and spin it off as, hey, we're gonna get a couple B-roll shots of your bar, so then here you can own the content. Most locations be like, yeah, and like you're not even gonna have to try and fight to show up because they're getting content, driving foot traffic, and there's a lot of wins from there. And like you said, it's the education piece that's so big, and that's where you could just crank out educational content without having to set up an extra 2 hours a week, 5 hours a week to do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, no, you're right on. Like, I could tell from this, watching your videos and listening to your podcasts, you have a great mind. And that's why I was interested just to talk to you. Because I have a different spin with what I was doing, but you got there. What took me a while to figure out, just from this conversation, but the way you connect it to having that interaction piece, I hadn't gotten there yet. I was going to create a video with the bartenders, with someone coming and ordering, can I get Carreño? I'm like, what? Tobasiche? And then having it be a fun spinoff where it's the bartender side of things. Mezcals get more popular, and people are going, I can't tell what they're trying to order, and making it fun. And I was trying to think, how do I connect it to the people? And at one point, this comes to me needing more hands. I was trying to have people say, we did when we did the movie screening, we did it at Film Bar, but we went to Zazarat because they have because there's permits required. So we had to go there in order to do our tasting because they have the alcohol permit.
Gotcha.
And I wanted to record. I was like, hey, compa, I'm going to get people to say, like, I want them to say, we're going to have just, each event, we're going to have 30 seconds of people trying to say Tobasiche, however they're going to chop it up. We know it's going to be brutal, but that's the fun part of it. And I was trying to do it, but then I just got too busy, and I was like, okay, I have to put the phone down because I have to give this person my interest. And because there's someone behind that I can tell is like trying to listen and wants to get it, their own experience. Yep. But that's where having those extra hands make a big difference. But again, you picked it up right away on those are exactly the things that I see as unique ways of doing it. But then that's why I love your point is we're not there budget wise, but maybe we are, because you can minimize your target market. So you're able to search that stuff. And those are always the things that really interest me, because the algorithms, to look at the stats, how to read those and say, okay, this is what information we have, what makes the most sense. This, and this. Okay, we can go after those people now. And that's part of this balance of, I know we need it. That's why, we have to spend money to make money, but we had to make money first because we spent all the money.
Yeah.
Like all the money got spent, and now money's coming in. But again, it's offsetting all of our overhead and everything. And now as we get more, we know we have to, I'm not trying to build something that is going to make me a little bit of money or something we're going to flip. We can never sell the hacienda. We're never going to sell any of that. It's always going to be part of the family. And so I'm very strategic as where I want to reinvest everything to create something that's going to be a self-sustaining.
Yeah.
Like that, we bought hats and people love the hats, and I originally just bought them for us, and they're like, can I get those hats? Like, let me figure it out. So I found a friend and said, can you get some more of these patches? And he's like, oh, you got to buy 100 now. I was like, oh man. I was like, all right, okay, I'm gonna get 100 hats then. And people love our hats. And now, okay, if we can sell enough of them, that'd be great. And now we can maybe give some away, do different contests, and that money just stays there, and it's money we put in, but now we can pull off hats and do different things. And that's how I look with the mezcal. We have to keep reinvesting. And once we sell a certain amount, now we can do some of the free stuff. Now we can pay to have these big events where we are the sponsor, and we do have a chef come out and they cook something super unique that's for these 50 people that entered a video contest. And just us being at that growing stage, it makes sense because we have to spend money to make money, and that's the big thing.
It's being strategic in where you're spending that money and figuring out what's going to drive the most ROI quickest so that you can fund the next thing that gets you to that next level. It's always hard. I mean, I think that's what every business is trying to figure out is, sure, we could do that, but what are we going to do that's going to get us here quicker so that we can do those other two things? And yeah, I don't know. It's one big fun game, I think. Yeah. It really is. But one thing that got me super excited is whenever you're just talking about the influencer marketing, how sure, you got these 50,000 people you can reach, but I know that if I have 100 people, I can do a lot more damage than, and I think people get so caught up in these huge vanity numbers where big numbers, I need to reach 100,000 people or more, where let's cut this down to, like, let's target a 1 mile radius around a bar to people that are Arizona natives, Arizona lovers, and let's cut it down to 5,000 people. You don't need more than $100 to reach all them a couple times. People get so caught up in I need to reach 10, 20, 100,000, but it's like going back to how many times does it take to reach someone and hit them over and over so they remember who you are as a brand, especially one that's tough to pronounce, and that is brand new. And so the more you can cut that down and get that smaller audience, you can be more efficient, more methodical with your dollars and your strategy. And I think, even if you had $100, I mean, I would love to even just sit and just kind of map this out on where you could spend it. And like, yeah, because I mean, it's what you guys are doing is awesome. I mean, I'm an Arizona native, we're an Arizona company as well, and huge just on small business and community and stuff like that. And I mean, I think that $1 can go a lot further than what you think, especially with some of these things that you're doing that isn't just buy from me, but you are educating. And there's a lot of things you can do cleverly to push organic growth so it doesn't look salesy. And I think that would play to your advantage and help expedite some of that growth. But yeah, I mean, once you get to that point, or if you ever feel like you want to, I'd love to sit down and do more of what does that look like. If I have $100, $1,000, whatever it is, where would we spend it? And then it's let's sit back and see what defines success. And then from there, you just build. I mean, you could start, like I said, with $50, and then the next event, maybe you do 70 because you saw whatever, but you just build. And it's not, hey, you need 10,000 to just get something going. But, yeah, I mean, it's all about trying to figure out where that dollar is best spent. But yeah. I think you guys are on something huge, and I think there's a lot of opportunity in getting your guys' brand out there.
Yep. It's fun. We have so many people reaching out to us. This and like, I was thinking about it. I was like, why wouldn't someone want to make a video about what we do? Like, it would be perfect for someone coming up and then message right away like, hey, I do video work. And I talked to the guy, and he's still trying to charge me X amount. I'm like, I don't know if it's worth to spend that money right now, but it's like I'm thinking it, and it just keeps happening. And it's one of those things. We're very unique, and people love spirits. We've made so many connections with chefs, with mixologists, but also artists. Like, we're really cool with all the fashion, like Cumulative with Quinlan. Those have never been people that we would have probably connected with. And so we're seeing more and more different people come into our world because of this spirit. And I used to work in sports. I worked for the Coyotes when I first got out of ASU.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there's that thing, like, I would go to these networking, and they're like, oh, I work for APS, and oh, I work over at some software company. Oh, what do you work? Oh, I work for the Coyotes. I was like, oh, cool. What do you like? It was always this, what do you do? And for us, we were like, oh, we're just going to, that was never, it was cool to support the family. And now we're like, oh man, people, really love, like we drank it for so long. It lost kind of that coolness to that everybody else sees. And now I'm seeing it more and more often. I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. Like, it's fun to be part of the alcohol world, where for us, it was like pain in the ass to be in the alcohol world. Like, it's tough. Like, but people see that, we're getting messed. And my compa was like, oh yeah, people are saying, hey, you guys hiring? And one of literally my best friends, let me know when you guys need me. He's like, I'm ordering your stuff out. It's really expensive. How good did that feel? Like, I'm like, yeah, I'm a volunteer. Like, that's the thing. I tell everyone, like, you guys, let me know if you need a brand ambassador. That's the the trend word for the bartenders. And I go, I actually pay to do this. Like, I'm paying my own money to drive and do all this stuff. There's all the money that comes in, nothing is coming out. Everything goes right back into all the stuff we're doing. And they just don't have that perceptive yet, but it's fun to, and I told them, like, this is barely, since February we actually launched. I was like, wait till a year from now.
February, so like 7 months, 6 months?
Yeah, February 21st was when we had the bottles actually arrived. We had to wait. Bottles came in February 21st when we went out and did our first deliveries. I had just gotten back. I was sick. Ivan was working because he has his regular job still too. And I went out and just did a bunch of stuff that Friday because we had people that were like waiting, like, hey, we're ready. And everything just took longer than expected. Oh, this government shutdown. Oh, that's fine, Oh, wait, we still needed our labels to be approved. So TTB was shut down. All these, we literally, Dustin, like, I'm like, all right, here's our finish lines, like right here. And that's really a start line with hurdles. And we hit every freaking hurdle at the end.
At you.
Yeah.
Here, watch this.
Arthea's like, the bottles are done fine. I'm like, great. She's like, but now the corks need to get made. I was like, the cork people aren't the bottle people. She's like, no, it's a different. I'm like, oh my God. And so everything just took so long. So once we finally got here, I was just hungry. I was like, all right. And I burned myself out those first 2 months because I was just nonstop. And now I have way more meetings and doing different things because there's this higher level work I have to do besides the grinding out. But I'm still number one salesman, number one accountant, number one delivery guy, number one brand ambassador, whatever it is, I have to be that. But now I just keep getting more stuff added to that plate. Mm-hmm. But to look back, February, if you look really March, but even then people were super busy. So it's tough to talk to people. We weren't on no menus. We're not in any cocktails because we were just launching when everyone was crushing it, making all their money. And that's why it's going to be super exciting when end of September, October hits. It's going to be a whole new ball game because we're on menus. People know who we are. They love our product. And now it's going to be boom, boom, boom. Hey, we're getting orders already consistently every week for replenishing. It's going to be insane. Yeah. Who's gonna be my delivery guy? Because I'm gonna need a delivery guy because I won't be able to do all the events. I can go out and do a sales call in Chandler because I can hit my accounts and deliver at the same time. Well, now I need to be in Chandler, Ahwatukee, and North Scottsdale. I'm like, okay, I got to put these puzzle pieces together. But they say long days, but hard work pays.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's true. So what's the first thing you think you're gonna hire for?
Marketing, like the social media. I'm really good at it and I love it, but it takes so much time to do it right. And so that's why I think we got the intern now to help. The delivery driver, I have to see what that looks like. I need someone 1 day a week where it's all right, you're going to go and here's all your accounts. Here's what they're ordering. The invoice is already set. Just go deliver, collect. That's the great thing in our business. They have to pay us. We can't give them terms. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff that's really difficult in the alcohol world, but we have to get paid right when we deliver the product. So that makes it nice.
Gotcha.
Knowing the money.
Not floating inventory out for too long.
Exactly. And so that makes it easier, but digital content person and then delivery driver. Those are probably the two.
And I mean, even with the alcohol, it makes it a little tough just because like Google, the policy around that is just, it's tough to advertise. And that's why I think, we were talking about it yesterday, going with the podcast around the informational, like you can't just say like sell the product in and of itself, but you could sell a podcast about it. And that's a way that you can now bypass all these ad platforms that would say, nope, sorry, you can't advertise to now you can advertise, which in fact would probably sell more, the educational piece.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, as we kind of wrap it up, I guess what is one fun fact that you would tell everyone, or what is something that I guess you see that most people are like, wow, didn't know that. I mean, there was a lot that I had, but is there
just about the business in general, the experience,
just the business in general? Just, I mean, I think everyone is so enamored or looks up to just it would be so fun to work in the alcohol industry. I guess, what is the biggest thing that I think would surprise most people?
It's actually tough. We, both me and Ivan, we rotate different months where we don't drink because you make these great friends, and I see the industry and everyone wants to support each other. It's a great community. And so they go to each other's restaurants and bars and they'll sit there and they'll talk to each other because there's these great friends. Like we have lifelong friends that I've made in this past year through this business. And so people want to support, when a chef's doing a special dinner or if it's their 1 year anniversary, I'm going to go there. Sometimes I'm tired, but I'm going to give up alcohol again next month. Ivan's doing his right now. I did May, and they're like, May, Cinco de Mayo, all this stuff. I'm like, yeah, because you work really hard, and when you're drinking normally you drink a little bit and it's fine. But for us, hey, I got this great new cocktail label. Let me make it for you. I'm like, yeah. Or I got some new bourbon. You want to try it? Like, sounds good. Cause I appreciate all spirits. But when you get little sips here all the time and that's your daily, it affects you. And so for us, we want to reset ourselves.
That's smart.
From the beginning and make it something we do. Cause originally I was like, I'll do it maybe 1 month, but already going into it, I'm like, no, I'm gonna definitely need to do it 2 months. And I'm doing September because it's right before the season starts. So I'll be able to refresh myself. But a lot of, industry people do dry January because again, the season. And for me, my workflow is a little bit different. I'm like, all right, I want to do it in certain months where I know I'm going to be super busy, where January, it's going to be a little bit slower. September is going to be crazy. And I want to give myself that ability to say no. Plus too, it's expensive going out and, ordering drinks and food. But that's something that people think, oh, it's so cool. You always have alcohol around you. Mm-hmm. You always have alcohol around you. Like that is one of those things that it sounds great, but when you're in there and the right people can control it. And there's some people that I've seen some bad examples out there and I'm like, wow, that person's super smart. Yet when I see them, they're sloppy. And I'm like, God, they have so much talent. Like I love conversating with them, but more often when I see them out, they're just kind of, and it's sad. But for me, it's like, all right, be a better you because people are always watching. Yeah. And, we're representing a brand, we're representing our family, our names, all these different things. And so for me, just being able to say no for a month, because I love mezcal. Like I drink it everywhere I go. I'm like, oh, you don't have mezcal? I'm like, oh God. I'm like, I'm not a beer drinker. So there's a passion for it, but at the same time, I am trying to create something. And so there's sacrifice in everything. You had a sacrifice to start what you're doing and you have to realize that. And so that's something that, we love our mezcal and I could drink it all the time. But at the same time, there's times where I don't need to drink it because what I'm building is very important to me. And I want to maximize that energy level or the straight process of being able to go in there and say, no, today's not one of those days. I appreciate it. I'll come back. You can make me that cocktail later. And seeing some of these people that would, some people taste and they drink when I'm meeting a bar manager and other ones would spit out. And at first I was like, oh, they're spitting it out. Or they'd only take a little sip and they'd pour, I'd have a big pour. I'm like, I'll take this home. Like, But now I look at it and I go, okay, I appreciate those people way more now because being in the industry, feeling it, the effects of it. And this is just 4 months of, for now time's flying by. So 5 months, 6 months of doing it. Crazy how fast it goes by? Really is. I go to some accounts like, you're getting skinnier. I go, I hustle hard, like nonstop. I'll eat trail mix and just go because I'm like, all right, I should eat. Maybe I'll eat here. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna go to the next spot. Like I have that drive, right? Yeah.
We literally don't eat lunch in here ever. Like I'm up at 4, probably being here at 5 in the morning, and then I go home at 6, and then me and the wife cook dinner. But yeah, it's my wife gets sometimes.
Oh yeah, we'll do a double date because I think our wives are in similar worlds with like starting to be like, where are you going tonight? I'm meeting with this person, right? So,
but it's fun. This is like, being able to like just sit down and the thing that you love to do and see someone else get excited about it. There's just, I don't know, there's no irreplaceable feeling, and it's addicting.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. It goes back to this. The world's a video game and I've always loved it. And for me, it's how am I going to build these stats up and have fun at the same time? My last thing, my name's Abel. Always be enjoying life. And that's what I've done with all my, I have a ticket business. That's how I'm actually making money right now. I worked in sports. And so it's always been, I love to travel, and that's just been my mantra. And people are like, you're a really expensive friend because I invite them to do things. To me, it's always that collective group of having people together. But this is the culmination of all my work experience, all my education experience has brought all my family heritage, brought me here. And it makes me so happy that I get to do this and share this with people that I love and make these new friendships every day. Yeah. Every day.
I love it. I could feel it. I can sense it. You guys are going to kill it. As I was listening, I thought you guys have been around for 2 years. The fact that you guys started just several months ago, you guys are going to kill it. And so it's going to be so fun to watch the growth. And I'm so stoked that you guys are only here in Arizona right now. I love Arizona. And it's just part of my heart, and so it's cool that you guys are doing that. And as you guys are kind of growing, any ideas you guys have on marketing? We'd love to even do, even if it's just, what are your thoughts on this or that? We could, even do a podcast, or I would love to even just come out and help, I mean, just give some thoughts or anything, like just would love to give any value that we could to help you guys grow.
Yeah, I know you got some great insights, so I'd love to be able to do some stuff with you and see where your mind, because you got a very unique vision, so I like it.
Unique mind. Some people, wife would say something different, but I do appreciate it. And so after you let people know where they can find you and stuff like that, I would love to try some. But yeah, this is your opportunity. Kind of let everyone know where they can find you, where they can find your products, and yeah, this is your chance.
Perfect. Well, I want to do one thing. So I do have a saying that I created early on, and I'm gonna test it with you. It's our sort of a tagline. What's this brand called? No, you look at it. Even looking at it, it's still, look at it. Like I want Mezcal what?
Mezcal artisanal.
No. The big one.
Oh, Carreño.
Carreño. Mezcal Carreño. Hard to pronounce, easy to love.
I like it.
Yeah, that's something
the hard to pronounce, because I think that's what people be like. I don't know. I think that's what Walson. I don't know. Just build that relationship. Like it's. Oh yeah, it is tough to pronounce.
Yeah, Mezcal Carreño, hard to pronounce, easy to love. That's kind of what I just project people. So we are all over some of the best restaurants in Arizona. So that's been our big thing, is everything from Hush, Tarbell's, Gladly, Centrico, Ladera. Like if you like good food, you'll notice our bottle. You can go, particularly if you're trying to find it close to you, if you go to our website, mezcalcarreñous.com/find-us, you can search by bar, restaurant, or a store if you want to pick up a bottle, take to your home bar, which is a great thing to have, or they can make great gifts. We've had people give them away for weddings, birthdays. It's fantastic to share something that way, but our website has a bunch of information, or you can always slide in the DMs. We're super small, so when someone wants to buy a bottle, I'm super happy. They're like, where can I get it? And I'll text them all the information, because every bottle means a lot to us, and I'm fortunate to say that, because we are a small batch. So in the end, we love it when someone goes, this is the best mezcal, or they tag us. It's that, like you said, it's that euphoric feeling of, oh, this is great. All the hard work is good.
Love it. Well, appreciate your time. And I look forward to watching the growth, because it's going to be explosive. So
yeah, it'll
be fun.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for tuning in to the very end. I love data a lot, and the data shows that only 10% of the people listening are actually subscribed. If you love the content that we're producing and want to help us grow, please subscribe. Please.